Recording already. Hey everyone, welcome to this special vlog where we're going to do a conversation with the one and only, of course, my beautiful wife, Ces. Many people have been asking and have been trying to see whether yung sinasabi ko really is true, especially when it comes to work and avoiding burnout and all of that. And I thought that, who better to hopefully confirm what I have been sharing and teaching for quite a while already about what it really means to escape burnout and to experience growth in your careers. And so, without further ado, welcome, Ces.
Hello everyone, I'm the wife of the workaholic, Kiko. Tonight, we're gonna talk about how I handle a workaholic, husband, or how we handle a workaholic spouses.
Oh no, I'm in trouble. When I was thinking, kasi we were talking about, how we're going to work on the blog and what
Vlog.
else, sorry, the vlog, what can we do to, add more value to people. And I thought na parang sayang naman na it's just me talking pa rin. Para kasi the podcast, it's always usually me and, some guests every now and then. It's good to hear naman from Ces as well. How does life look like for someone who is always hustling? And to be honest, di lang naman ako yung hustler sa amin.
Yeah, we both work together.
Yeah, we run the business together. Some people have also asked that. What does that look like for you? Some people kasi they think na parang, well, paano yan kasi if you're a work from home professional and all of that, how does the wife fit in that picture? And totoo lang, I mean, it's always different for everyone naman. I mean, some people it works, no? Na
Yeah.
the wife focuses on the kids and all
Yeah.
of that. Pero
Full-time mom.
yeah, but for us naman kasi from the beginning it was very clear na parang that's not
Yeah, and I wanted to work. I wanted to have a career of my own.
tama. Yeah. And so yun, yung career ni Ces, she likes to really do
Joke!
aside from shopping, of course. Obviously, she has a really good eye for creatives, for marketing, and so she does that, the social media marketing. Siguro, let's ask the wifey. Sino ba
Yeah?
talaga yung pinaka-workaholic sa ating dalawa?
Of course, you is that a question? Obviously.
Siyempre, yung first questions out muna. Let's talk about, how do you handle a workaholic? Kasi I'm sure that, a lot of couples now, especially with the pandemic and all of this, were and I think we had experiences na ganito din, where it was kind of hard to kind of put balance to, work and life
marriage.
and marriage and, parenting and
Yeah, everything. Work
everything,
and
house chores, helping
life.
with the house chores, which to be fair naman to me, guys, no, I also do house chores every now and then. I just don't do them
Yeah,
very
he
well.
does.
I'm just very bad at them. When I clean the CR, it doesn't look clean after
No,
that.
you don't clean the CR.
But when it comes to handling workaholic, I think siguro what Ces would like to share naman for everyone here's watching this is how do you handle a workaholic spouse?
Okay.
And we're going to talk about how many tips are we going to talk about today?
We're going to tackle 3 tips.
3 tips on how to handle workaholic
Workaholic.
spouses.
Spouses.
So what's tip number 1?
Okay, so tip number 1 is you have to set boundaries.
Set boundaries.
Yeah. By that, we mean that, we have to set, like, for example, kasi work from home, it's hard to, determine what time you're gonna start working and what time you're gonna end working. So for us, what we do, meron kaming, we talk about it, like, we start working around 8 o'clock in the morning, and then lunch breaks, we usually have lunch breaks with the kids, especially with the kids. Before dinner, we should be, dapat tapos na kami mag-work, and then after that, we spend quality time with the family.
Right. And I think it's important also to note that the boundaries are there as a template.
Yeah.
Kasi minsan hindi talaga maiwasan when, say for instance, you have a meeting at 6 o'clock. And there was also a time when you were handling, di ba, a client na may Monday evenings kayo na events. We had
with you. I mean,
Yeah, and
events
me.
you record,
Correct.
podcasts with other, with guests.
Yeah,
right?
so when I have podcast recordings or minsan when I have speaking engagements na nasa gabi.
Mm.
And so But I think the boundaries are there essentially na not really to box you, pero at least in some way or another, you have a template na ito yung target natin, that we end work at 6 o'clock. We start work at, this time, 8 or 9. 8 in the morning, 9. Depends on time zones and all of that. Yeah, but I think, again, it's there for a template. But at least you have in mind
at least you have a routine also.
Correct. And in a schedule in some way or another.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, grace comes in. And I've talked about that a couple of times already. Where, okay, sige, we have this productivity hack. I think siguro, like, for example, another thing that we talk about is calendaring things.
Yeah.
And we try to calendar as much as we can, whether it's at work or in life. Pero minsan, may times talaga na nakakalimutan or namimiss siya. Na,
yung isa is not informed that, may meeting pala na ganito.
Right.
Or meron ka palang ganito.
Correct. And I think that's where, the grace comes in. And I'm so thankful that Cez is very gracious.
Yeah.
Diba?
He needs to buy me milk tea lang after.
Buti na lang milk tea lang eh. I think that's the dynamic always. I mean, understanding that
you're a workaholic.
That I'm a workaholic, and it's I definitely need a lot of grace in that aspect. So, yun, I think number 1 is to set boundaries. We actually wrote down our boundaries.
Yeah.
Diba?
We have it in writing so that we won't forget, tapos ay pwede mong balikan anytime. Correct.
It becomes a he said, she said thing. Unless na you have it in writing.
Yep.
And so we decided to use you've heard me talk about Notion a lot. I am the Notion nerd, and Cez hopefully will become a Notion nerd soon.
No, I just benefit from your experience. But yeah, it really helps, Notion. We have everything there from, the boundaries, even our financial trackers.
Yeah. Fine. I guess also that's another boundary din. Setting budgets. Hindi, kasi ganun din. I mean, for example, when you're talking about finances, not just with personal finances, but even with the business, diba?
Yeah.
What kind of subscriptions do we have? So you have to be clear about those boundaries then.
Yeah, correct. Kasi pwedeng you will just splurge on the apps.
Oo, kasi to be honest, he says, diba, you've heard me say many times, she's a shopaholic. But I'm an appaholic.
Yeah, appaholic.
I love to subscribe.
Gadgetholic.
I love to subscribe to apps kasi yung mindset ko na, $5 lang yan every month.
ROI ko naman siya after X months.
I think boundaries come, which I think that also ties into tip number 2, which is, what is tip number 2?
Number 2 is communicate.
So what does that mean, communicate?
Others thought that we are very,
Passionate.
Very passionate, yeah. Pero we really communicate everything to each other. We are very transparent to each other. Even sa finances or sa work, yung clients namin. I mean, we share some clients, and then meron din kaming mga sariling clients. And doon na-communicate din namin kung ano yung work dito, how much we're gonna earn from this client, how much yung ganitong client. So yan, so naka-communicate yan lahat. We know the ins and outs of not just the work but also finances.
Correct. I shared this story a while back na talking about the finances part when we communicate about money. There was actually one time na my sister-in-law, Cez's sister, was staying in our place for one time. She was in the living room. We were in the dining area talking about our budget.
Yeah.
And then so funny. Yeah, and then Jama, yung sister-in-law ko, thought we were fighting. She told Cez after na kala ko nag-aaway kayo eh. Pero that's just how we communicate kasi we think that conflict really helps.
We were not fighting. It's just how we communicate.
Yeah, we weren't fighting.
Kasi you're Bisaya. No, kidding.
We weren't fighting. Actually, Cez was just fighting me. I was just...
No! I was not.
Kasi when it comes to couples...
And aside from the work and the finances, we also communicate the time. Like,
right.
I have a meeting ganitong oras, especially at night. Kasi yun nga, minsan di maiiwasan. We have meetings, in the evening. So, usually we communicate na it will just be 1 hour. Tapos we try to really fit that in at 1 hour.
Which usually hindi nangyayari for me.
Maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes.
Mga plus 15 yan siguro.
Plus.
Ako, what I really appreciate about Cez is she's very, very honest. And this is something that I really asked her to do from the beginning. To be honest to me when she feels na I'm overstepping. If I'm working too much, kasi yung tendency is if you're a spouse, there's this, Christianese language na hindi, if you're a spouse, you just have to submit.
And I do submit.
I think the reason why I laugh with that kasi there's this misconception that when you submit, you should
because they see me as strong.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, why I think na in some way or another, there are wives naman who are very soft-spoken, ganun. Then that's
Like
good.
me.
That's good to have naman every now and then. But it also helps when the spouse communicates freely and communicates openly.
That's what I tell my victory.
You have to be honest, eh. I mean, how can we find solutions if you're not honest?
Yeah, exactly. If you're keeping something, especially sa spouse mo.
Right. So, for example, work boundaries. 6 o'clock. For me, sometimes I don't realize na ilang days na ako nag-overtime or I've been working non-stop already.
Yeah. Or
It's a blind side for me.
even working during mealtime, yun.
Right,
Sa
yeah.
loob.
Like sometimes, yun nga, I mean, sometimes we try to make sure that 12 to 1, that's no
Lunch
work.
break.
Lunch break talaga. It's break. And I actually recorded the podcast about that recently. About the importance of breaks. Pero it's really a blind spot for me. Because my natural tendency is because I'm so passionate about what I do. I go straight to work right away without even realizing that. And sometimes that sounds crazy na parang grabe OA naman. Pero really, that's really my nature eh. And so I need Cess to be like, the lens for my blind side to communicate to me when I'm working too much.
Akala ko the alarm. Stop working.
I don't need the Bundy clock because Cess is by Bundy clock. And so,
yeah.
that's very...
The angry Bundy clock.
The angry Bundy clock. Lakas pala ng alarm, ano. But communication is very important. Sometimes even if you have to communicate the hard truths.
Yeah.
So that really...
Bawal ang pikon.
Oh. So yun. So that's point number 2. That's tip number 2. What's tip
And
number 3?
the last one is plan work breaks. And by that, we mean, the breaks na hindi lunch break or dinner break.
Also, aside from that, family outings.
Yeah.
Times where we're not going to work.
Even
Which-
a staycation. Or
Staycations.
day trip with the kids.
And for us, we plan it because if we don't plan it, it doesn't happen.
Yep.
Di talaga nangyayari kasi just daming kailangan gawin.
Every day we have work.
And we own our business. We don't have leaves and holidays.
Yeah.
And
Technically,
so
yes, we don't have
we
leaves
don't.
and holidays.
We don't. And if we're not deliberate about setting the time with the kids, to go out, even pre-pandemic, and
Make
even
that
now,
happen,
even with the pandemic, kasi beauty of being in the province is you can go, to places na hindi masyadong maraming tao and all of that.
Correct.
Pero we plan it. It really has to go in the calendar and back to being flexible. Kasi minsan I have like tomorrow is Friday night. I
and you have
have a Facebook
podcast.
Live
Sorry.
interview. So yun, but it has to be planned because if we don't plan it, then
and you have to communicate with me na Friday night I have this and that.
yeah, correct. And I think
And you did.
Yeah, and I did. Did I?
You did.
I did. Okay.
I wasn't aware of the time lang.
Okay. And so yun, those are
So three things lang. Set boundaries, communicate, and plan work breaks.
from that. We'd love to hear in the comment section. From those 3 things, which do you want to, apply in your
married life.
this week? Siguro just one lang, and then
Yeah.
hopefully build on top of that. So we'd love to hear in the comment section. Boundaries, communication, work breaks. Which do you think you can work on this week? With that, thank you so much for listening to this. I hope that you learned something, and we'll see Cess in the next video.
What are we gonna talk about?
We'll see. We would love to
Yeah.
hear your feedback. If you want to see Cess more, please let us know, because we'll make that happen. That's it. Bye.